What's up, guys? Welcome back to Cars, Cost, and Technology. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my first impressions with you on my 2020 C8 Corvette. I've had the car for about 2 weeks now. I actually meant to put together a video like this around the 1 week marker, but I've been really busy with work and family and just haven't had a chance to put that together yet. So I do appreciate your patience. I've got a lot of new videos in the works right now, and I hope to get those out to you guys soon. But again, I appreciate your patience and look forward to putting out some of those new videos and hope that you guys enjoy them. Now, right now, I'm just going through the break-in period, and I wanted to share some of the key takeaways and things that have stood out to me after actually owning the car. I haven't actually hit the 500 mile marker yet, so I haven't been able to do any hard launches or anything like that. Hopefully that will be very soon. Again, I haven't had as much time with the car as I'd like, but I think that's going to be changing here in the coming weeks. I'll have much more time to be driving and make content with the car. I do also want to point out that for those of you that may remember, back towards the beginning of the year, I did have a chance to go out to North Carolina and drive 2 different C8 Corvettes around the March-April timeline. And those cars were spec'd very similar to my personal C8 Corvette. So I shared some of my impressions and first thoughts after driving those cars. My car being spec'd so similar, there's not a dramatic difference in the way that the car drives or feels. So, if you've already seen that video, there's going to be some similar takeaways and feedback here in this video. But after owning it, there are a few things that have stood out to me more so than driving and checking out those 2 cars for a very limited amount of time. But with all that being said, I wanted to share some of these thoughts for any of you that are on the fence thinking about buying a C8 Corvette, or maybe you're driving a C6 or C7 Corvette and just curious what a previous C6 and C7 Corvette owner thinks about the C8 initially after taking delivery. So let's go ahead and jump into some of these key takeaways or some of my first impressions. And like I pointed out in the last first impressions video or first drive video, and still to this day stands out as the most noticeable thing about driving this car, is the reactions and attention the car gets is just incredible. Pretty much everywhere you go, people are asking you questions about it, whether they are car people or not. Some people know it's the C8 Corvette. Some people think it's some type of exotic. It's just crazy the amount of people that want to come up and talk to you about it and ask questions about the car. I really enjoy it. Obviously, it can be a little bit much when you're trying to get something done or in a hurry. That's actually been one of the hindering factors to making videos on the car, believe it or not, is I've been stopped numerous times thinking I've got to film something here because I want to put together this video. And then a random person will stop and start to ask me questions, or sometimes 2 or 3 people stop and ask me questions about the car, walk around, talk to me about it, things like that. And then next thing I know, I'm getting sidetracked, losing time to film what I had an idea on. So, like I said, so that can be a little bit much at times, but for the most part, I really enjoy having those conversations. It's really cool to see car enthusiasts and people who don't really care about cars get genuinely excited and interested in a Corvette. I've always been a Corvette fan myself, so to see how good of a job they did on this car and how many people get excited to see it is just incredible. And even as you own the car, I've had it for about 2 weeks now, and you start to forget just how good the car looks, and just how aggressive it looks. Seeing that excitement in people who get to see it in person for the first time reminds you this is a really incredible car, and it's actually something really special that I'm thankful to have the opportunity to drive. So that will never get old. Hopefully, as the car becomes more common, there'll still be that really fun and cool reaction then when people see it, just because of the exotic proportions and how cool the car looks and all the different specs that'll be out there and things like that. We're going to still see a lot of excitement from the general public when they see this car out on the roads. But moving on to another key takeaway or first impression on my particular car, one thing that I was concerned about and I'm really excited to report to you guys is I haven't seen any quality control issues yet. I did have paint protection done on the car, and I'm going to make another video about that process and what I ended up going with. But the person who did it for me said that the paint is some of the best he's ever seen on expensive, inexpensive, you name it, a wide spectrum of cars. He's never seen paint quite this good from the factory. So really happy to hear that. I haven't had any type of weird nagging issues throughout the rest of the car, no interior issues. That's really exciting to me. Obviously, there are still many things that could come up. I've only had the car for a very limited amount of time and haven't been able to drive it as much as I would have hoped to at this point in time. But as a whole, I'm very excited to say everything looks to be in tip-top shape and put together flawlessly. So I'm really thankful for that. I know a lot of people are concerned with it being the first model year of the new generation, that there will be a lot of quality control issues or problems. So far, I haven't had any with my car, so very thankful for that. And on that note, I want to talk about just how smooth and comfortable the ride is, how well everything works together. All the technology is just really great in the interior. It really brings the experience I had in my C7 Corvette to that next level, and adding in a ton of new cool stuff. Loving the front end lift, loving the cooled seats in this hot South Carolina summer. So a lot of cool things in the interior, and just the ride is so smooth with the magnetic ride control suspension. I'm blown away by how comfortable the car is. You know, you compare it to basically any other car out there, and I swear it's as comfortable or better than most cars, especially in touring mode, and then gets super stiff and extremely rigid when you're in sport or track mode. So you get the best of both worlds. Just a phenomenal driving car and overall handling car. Now, on that note of refinement and how smooth it is, I will say that the exhaust is a little on the quiet side for me. I prefer a little bit louder and more noise, but it's odd how the exhaust works. It's actually pretty loud on, say, cold start or on acceleration. I think the only reason why a lot of people say that the C8 is too quiet is the baffling in the active exhaust actually cuts it off too quick. You know, even when you're in track mode, I feel like you have to either be, like I mentioned before, on a cold start or full throttle for the exhaust to sound loud. Other than that, the baffles cut it out almost immediately and are really restrictive, making it very quiet to the point where even in track mode, you can be cruising at, say, 2,000 or 3,000 RPMs and not even hear the exhaust at all. And I think, again, that's due to the baffles closing it. So I wish that there was some easy way to adjust in the settings. And again, I'm already in track mode or using the exhaust in track mode in the My Mode setting. And it's still pretty restrictive. So I do wish that there was a way to alter that and still use the stock exhaust, but just keep it unbaffled for longer periods of time. But I'll give you more feedback on that down the road and share more thoughts as I continue to get more used to that system. I also want to talk a little bit about the dual clutch transmission, with that being a huge change for the C8 Corvette, the first ever in a Corvette. I'm getting more and more used to it. The upshifts are phenomenal. It's extremely smooth and quick. The downshifts and the stop and go feedback or feel with the dual clutch transmission is definitely a little bit different than a torque converter, like say the 8-speed auto in my C7 Corvette. I'm not saying I don't like it, it's just different. So I'm getting more of a feel for that, but be prepared when you get your C8 Corvette to have a slightly different feel. On stop and initial takeoff, it reminds me more of driving an actual manual car that you're just not operating the clutch. And that's kind of hard to explain, but it feels great. It's just something a little different for me that I'm getting used to. Again, the upshifts and everything else are phenomenal, very fast and smooth. So as a whole, I'm definitely liking the dual clutch transmission, but still getting used to that. But as a whole, you know, just kind of in summary, I would say that the car has definitely exceeded my expectations. It was definitely worth every bit of the wait and every penny paid for the car. Phenomenal car, and I'm really enjoying it. I think any of you that are getting ready to get yours are going to feel the same way. I'm extremely excited to reach that break-in period and get some more content out to you guys. And I want to hear from you, any feedback in the comments below, anything that you want to see in specific. I don't mind putting together a subscriber request video where literally all I do is video a piece of the car, answer specific questions on the car, sort of like a Q&A. I know that there's a lot of material already out there on the C8 Corvette, but there's certain things that sometimes you just have to have a specific question answered, whether it's how it will fit in your garage or what this specific feature in the interior will do or how it will operate. So feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to assist with that and give you any information that you're looking for. But anyway, guys, like I said, the car's doing great so far. No issues to report. Just wanted to give you a quick update, and I do apologize that I haven't been able to make as much content as I would have liked to after initially getting the car, but got a lot more content coming soon. I should be reaching that break-in period any day now, and a lot more to come after that. But thanks so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it and hope that you enjoyed the video. Please give it a like if you did, and we'll talk to you next time. Have a great day.